Barack Obama is once again weighing in on the race for the White House. The U.S. president slammed Donald Trump at a nuclear summit in Washington. That came when a reporter asked him what he thought of the Republican frontrunner's nuclear policies. Louise Martin is tracking this story. So what did Obama say, Louise?
Well, President Barack Obama didn't name Trump directly, but he did give him a schooling on foreign policy and did question his knowledge of foreign policy and, for that matter, the world in general. He made the comments during a news conference here at the Nuclear Security Summit in Washington. He was answering a question from a reporter about comments that Trump made earlier this week. And that was involving Japan and South Korea. He said that they should have their own nuclear weapons to protect themselves so that the United States does not have to pay for their protection. Now, Obama says the comments clearly indicate the Republican candidate doesn't know much about American foreign policy. Here is President Barack Obama.
It is an investment that rests on the sacrifices that our men and women made back in World War II when they were fighting throughout the Pacific. It is because of their sacrifices and the wisdom that American foreign policymakers showed after World War II that we've been able to avoid catastrophe in those regions, and we don't want somebody in the Oval Office who doesn't recognize how important that is.
So Trump's comments on foreign policy have really gained international attention as of late, and President Barack Obama said that it's left some foreign leaders confused and concerned. So here is what Trump did say earlier this week.
Japan doesn't want a nuclear weapon.
We defend, of course. Why should they? Well, we give them.
Do you want them to have a nuclear weapon?
Wait a minute. And I'll answer that question. But we defend. A lot of people don't even know this. We spend a fortune on defending Japan. We spend a fortune on defending Germany, right? Yeah. We spend a fortune on defending South Korea. Now, I order thousands and thousands of television sets here. They come from South Korea. They make so much. They're making a fortune. They're a behemoth. So is Germany. Why are we defending?
Because it's a
So President Obama said that, in the sidelines of the summit, he was questioned about this from other world leaders. Earlier in the week, Trump also said he wouldn't rule out using nuclear weapons in Europe or in the Middle East. Andrew.
All right. Now, the candidates, they're looking ahead to another primary. What's happening with them?
Yeah, some critical primaries ahead. We're talking about Wisconsin and then New York. For Trump, Wisconsin isn't going to make or really break his path to the Republican nomination. But a loss here could make it much harder for him. And his recent comments on abortion, saying that women should be punished and then retracting that statement, that's really has people at odds with him on both sides of the abortion debate and have him trailing in the polls ahead of the Wisconsin primary. Hillary Clinton is falling behind in the polls, too, for both Wisconsin and in New York. Her support falling in both states. Recent polls showing that Bernie Sanders is actually closing in on her lead in New York and ahead of her in Wisconsin. So Wisconsin coming up on Tuesday, April the 5th, and then New York primary April 19th. Andrew.
Thanks, Louise.
Okay.